right, John, an electric feeling down here on the floor of the big house. Folks, I've been down here for about an hour, and I've never seen anything quite like this in September. For the first time ever, Ohio State and Texas over in the tunnel. The Buckeyes are coming out. And now the Longhorns of Texas pull onto the field. Right now, let's go to Jackaroo with Coach Jim Tressel. Jack?
Well, right now, Brent, what they were doing was checking out the coin that'll be used today. Now, Ohio State has two outstanding quarterbacks. And for you, Coach Tressel, it's a tough decision. Will you play both of them?
Oh, we absolutely will. Justin will start and get a couple series. Troy will get in and get some series, and then we'll go from there.
Now, who will get the start? Justin will?
Yeah.
How long will he play?
Well, he'll play at least 2 series, and then Troy will play 2, and we'll keep rotating a little bit and see how it unfolds.
This is an electric feeling here in the Horseshoe. Right now, it is unbelievable.
You see Ginn, number 7 over on the right. Santonio Holmes is also back there deep. David Pino is the kicker for the Longhorns. Number 15. That was a change that Mac told us about during the pregame warm-ups. He will kick the extra points and the field goals, which means, of course, that last week's kicker, he will just do the punting. So Richmond McGee is the punter. Pino with the ball on the tee, and we're about to be underway. Keeping it away from Ginn. That was part of Mac Brown's strategy. However, Ginn runs up and fields it, and the Buckeyes will start with excellent field position. So the Buckeyes anticipating that shorter kickoff, and they are ready for it. We will see Justin as a starter, but Troy Smith will be in there. So let me take you to their new defensive coordinator in Austin, Texas. And Gary, it is Gene Chizik, did an outstanding job with Auburn. Now, what's his task here?
Brent, he will attack the quarterback, and when you blitz, you must be up on your assignments because big plays can happen. And then also, once those speed guys, Holmes and Ginn, get the football, Texas must tackle tonight.
Justin Zwick, the junior from Massillon's Washington High School, 6'4", 225. The winner in the bowl game and in last week's opener. They open in the gun. And they will throw a screen incomplete. It was in a lateral. No, it was an incomplete pass. This crew is a Big 12 officiating crew. And our offensive coordinator, Jim Bowman, he will have Santonio Holmes out there with Ginn. Stan White when they need a fullback. Antonio Pittman will start at tailback. Ryan Hamby, the talented tight end. Daddish, Sims, and Nick Mangold with Downing and Barton. Mangold is the leader of this improved offensive line. He makes the line calls. You could see his eyes as he surveyed the set. And now he's pointing out what they have to do. And Zwick comes up under center for second down. Here's Pittman's first carry. Picks up about 6 yards on it against this defense for the Texas Longhorns. Crowder, Oakham. Rod Wright is the All-American. And Brian Robinson. So 4 Texans. And then the linebackers. The leader, Aaron Harris, number 2. 3 more Texans. And this defensive backfield, Ross, Griffin, Huff, and Cedric Griffin. No relation, although Griffin does have a twin brother on the sideline. Here is Huff. He can play both corner and safety.
And there's Ginn right there.
On 3rd and 5. Got the first. Dropped the ball. Incomplete. Waved it off. It looked for a moment like they were going to pick it up with Anthony Gonzalez, the 3rd wideout. But he didn't hang on long enough, and Ohio State punts.
Oh, that was very, very catchable ball. Good throw by Justin Zwick. Very quick in his hands and out of his hands. You saw Ginn run a little bit of a decoy, and Justin Zwick put it right there, a drop ball.
A.J. Trapasso. Aaron Ross back deep, fields it at the 12-yard line, and he is down at the 10. Dante Whitner, and now we're going to take a look at Vince Young, the all-everything quarterback. And, of course, Jim Haycock has his hands full here tonight, Gary, as the defensive coordinator.
2 P words are the words tonight for Ohio State. They must be patient. Vince going to get some. And they must be physical. They want to win the physical battle in this game for if you're Ohio State.
A.J. Hawk, the All-American linebacker, number 47. The Buckeyes split one of the backers out to pick up the slot receiver. Completed on first down to Quan Cosby, and A.J. Hawk is there defensively. We'll mention these linebackers all night long. And for Greg Davis, he'll have Swede will be one of his wideouts. Brian Carter, the leading receiver a week ago. David Thomas, a fine tight end. This, folks, is probably the best offensive line in college football. Scott and Blaylock, what tremendous tackles they are. And Will Allen, the guard, number 72, gets down. Young is back in the shotgun. 2nd down and 8. Selvin Young, the ball carrier, and Kudla, Mike Kudla, makes the stop. Now Greg Davis coordinates Selvin Young and the rest of this offense, which we mentioned. And Nate Sally is a big play safety for the Bucks, and tremendous size, as these safeties have to be always aware of Vince Young, trying to prevent him from what he did against Michigan in the Rose Bowl. That's their goal. 3rd down. Here's Young, the runner, looking for the first down. He's going to get it. There is his first carry, and Gary, he just took off around the right side, and he just outran some players, and now a little jawing going on down there.
Not only that, but Texas offensive line that time blocked up well. Ohio State was expecting a pass on the play. This was a called lead draw. You see the block on the linebacker, all out of space right there for Vince Young, and into the secondary. That Texas offensive line knocked down 4 different Ohio State players.
On 3rd and 7, Vince Young rushes for 10 yards. So number 10 picks up the first down of the evening, and from behind him in the shotgun. Folks, there's not a seat to be had. Look at those folks standing up back there in the aisles and everything. Vince is back. He throws a screen to Ramont's Taylor on the outside, and it was number 42, Bobby Carpenter, for this Buckeye defense. And now let's talk about this defensive line. Quinn Pitcock is the ringleader there with Kudla, Marcus Green, and David Patterson. And then the best trio of linebackers anywhere in college football. Bobby Carpenter, Anthony Schlegel, A.J. Hawk, the underrated defensive backfield. Yabodi, Sally, and Whitner and Everett, they don't receive enough credit simply because the linebackers are the fellas that everyone always talks about. Kept it, got another first down, breaks free at midfield, and he has the angle, so Whitner would not give him any more than that. But here he is, Vince Young, 32 yards. He has now run for 42 yards, and he's barking away, saying all day long, folks, all day long.
You could see the false pull this way, and then Vince Young goes the opposite way. Misdirection play for the quarterback, one-on-one to the outside. You see David Patterson takes the bait, and what did Jim Tressel tell us, Brent? Vince Young likes to run to the right. That's both plays to the right. They had the scouting report on him, but they still can't stop him.
Off inside to Selvin Young. Now this is linebacker A.J. Hawk talking about stopping Vince Young.
He's a very elusive runner. He makes a lot of people miss, and he breaks tackles. He's a big guy, and the problem with stopping him is he can also throw the ball. So it makes it tough as a defender to stop a guy like that. You just have to, I think, have a guy accountable for him and make sure you realize where he is on the field.
It's one thing, Brent, having a guy account for him. There's another thing being close enough to make the play. Space is so important when you got a fast guy like that.
Texas first possession of the game, following the lead blocker for another first down. Vince Young. Starting to pile up the numbers already. The first player in Texas history to have 1,000 yards passing and rushing in a season. He, of course, was the Rose Bowl MVP. Rushed for 4, threw for a 5th touchdown. In the first 2 seasons, completed 59% of his passes, better than any Texas quarterback. And he has just rushed for another 10 yards. He's already got a half 100, folks, and we're just underway. This is their first drive of the game. He's going to throw it. Incomplete as his wide man, Terrell Brown. We checked that. That's Billy Pittman, I believe, coming.
Fell down. That was a perfectly thrown ball. Let's look at the game plan for Texas. Stay balanced, and you know Texas will do that. They will try to get the ball, running the ball and throwing the ball. When they're on defense, they must stop yards after catch for Ohio State. And when they're on defense, attack that Ohio State quarterback.
Second down and 10. You can see Carpenter move between the end and the tackle for the defensive front. Hawk is trying to get the fumble, but Texas falls on it. Alertly, Texas recovers it. David Thomas, the tight end, saves the moment for the Longhorns.
Well, Ohio State was ready for that play. Anthony Schlegel, A.J. Hawk, both linebackers got to the outside of that play. Even if that pitch was properly executed, Ohio State would have stopped that one for no gain.
Brandon Mitchell in as the nickel back. Schlegel's the middle linebacker. He's one of 2 Texans in the starting defensive lineup for Ohio State.
12 seconds.
Going to change the clock here, I believe. That I heard the tail end of that. 12 seconds.
Again, the Buckeye defense must be patient. You are not going to stop this spread every play. You have to just kind of swallow your pride a little bit, stay with the game plan, and make tackles.
Oh, Randy Crystal and this entire crew out of the Big 12. They worked the Oklahoma game last week. The upset by TCU down there. And here it is, 3rd and 10 for Young.
David Thomas is a good guy they go to here, the tight end.
He's blocking this time. They come back to the right side. And broken up by Ubodi. He is the other Texan who starts defensively.
Well,
Ubodi is an interesting story. He's out of Klein, Texas, born in Liberia, moved to the U.S. at the age of 4. Great coverage.
The Ubodi that time was right in Taylor's pocket. This ball was thrown very well, but you see Ubodi, there's no chance for that getting a completion. And Taylor, a running back a year ago, did not shield off the defender at all. That had no chance.
So here is Pino with Matt Norgren, the backup quarterback. He'll try a 42-yarder. He was very accurate during pregame practice at the other end. Long enough. So the move by Mac Brown pays off. A 42-yard field goal by David Pino. The Horns strike first. That's crucial in a big game. So Vince Young and the Longhorns, their second possession, coming out from the 11-yard line. And Jamal Charles, who rushed for a freshman record 135 yards for Texas, is now the running back. He is to Vince's right. They fake. They're going to throw on first down. Hit him on a crossing pattern just shy of midfield. Billy Pittman.
A nice straight route on this one. He runs right by A.J. Hawk. Ohio State does not like to substitute, and watch this beautiful route coming right down the middle of the field. And Vince Young does a beautiful job of putting it right there.
Folks, there is one thing that they did not talk a lot about up here in Columbus that is pretty obvious. Vince Young is a very good faker in that shotgun. Here is his quarterback draw now. Gets across midfield, stumbles just shy of the 45-yard line, tripped up by Ubodi. right, Sam. I imagine Steve threw the visor. He had a man wide open. Reaching is Thomas. Very close to a first down as he reached out at the end, and he's got it in Schlegel, the middle linebacker, back on him.
Let's take a look at Vince's delivery right here on this one. It is sidearm. There's no doubt about that. He's 6'6". Watch him fling this ball right here. He's on his toes. He actually throws it below his helmet level. But you know what? When you're 6'6", you can do that. Consistency is the most important thing from Vince, not how high his elbow is.
First quarter, Charles again. And they come across just shy of the 26. And Jack, Vince Young is going to be a big story all night, partner.
Boy, indeed he is. But at the beginning of last season, Vince Young underachieved, at least as far as Mac Brown, his head coach, was concerned. So after the Missouri game, he called Vince Young into his office, and he put this tape into the VCR. It was a tape of the highlights of Vince Young in high school, where he played it fast and loose. He turned to his aspiring quarterback, and he said, "That's what I want from you." Vince Young said, "I understand, Coach, but you got to let me be me." Ever since then, he has been.
Here he is. He was running a little bit of option, and Bobby Carpenter, the senior whose daddy, the high school coach at Lancaster, up to make the stop. Pops played in the NFL for some time. Carpenter's an interesting story for a linebacker, folks. Now, here's a young man who plays the piano. He was on the high school swimming team, and he once bowled at 240. And I dare say he's got the look of an NFL linebacker to him, too.
Absolutely. And now he weighs over 240. He goes about 250 pounds, still runs sub 4.640.
Second down and a dozen for Young and the Horns. Pocket hole, slant, incomplete. And there's flag came flying in. You could see that. Yabodi was there.
Yep.
So Yabodi and Sally was closing fast on the play.
Vince Young got knocked down on that throw also, but it was man-to-man coverage. When you move the ball against Ohio State, they come with the blitz. And that time Yabodi got there a little bit before the ball, and that was an easy call that time.
Well, I thought it was really close watching this. It's a 15-yarder, of course, in the college game, and an automatic first down.
Pass interference. Defense, number 26. Spot foul, automatic first down.
Vince Young can just flick that ball. He does not even have to step into his throws.
Back in the shotgun. The ball is inside the Bucs' 20-yard line. Now, both times, if you're a Texas fan, both times Young and the offense have moved the ball against this defensive front. Here comes Vince off the fake again, and it was whistled down. He'll hand it to the field judge and head on back.
Yeah, a lot of times that's illegal formation called the illegal procedure. It's going to be on Texas.
One of the things that I see with Vince Young that you don't see, let me listen here to the call first.
Prior to the snap, false start. Number 16, offense. It's a 5-yard penalty. It remains first down.
That's the tight end. One of the things I see with Vince, folks, is you know, is that he really enjoys what he's doing back there. He is very comfortable with being a quarterback. There is no question about it. I wondered what we were going to see this year with Vince Young. And I think Mac Brown's biggest recruiting job this year is making sure the big fella sticks around for his senior season down there in Austin. And it's up the screen. Got it into the hands of the running back. To the 10-yard line, short of the first down, is the freshman Charles. So, you know, in fact, we talked to Vince when Gary was down in Austin. He asked him about enjoying himself on the field. Here's what he told Gary.
Yeah, I like to go mess with the defense, mess with the coaches. I mean, trainers, anybody out there. For everybody just have a good time, just love doing their job. I mean, that's what God put us out here for, just to love doing your job, whatever you're doing, and being a great, humble guy.
Here's Charles slipping, battling toward that first down, that yellow line down there. Good-looking freshman running back. Coming off that big week against Louisiana Lafayette. He was twisting his way for some extra yardage down there. I think the Buckeyes have found out early on that they're going to have to play against Charles and the rest of this Horn team. Remember, way back, when was it, 2002? These were the 2 top recruited classes in the country. Texas and Mack Brown were #1 with Vince Young, but the Buckeyes were #2. And for a long time, the Buckeye fellas have been saying, man, we'd like to get on the same field and prove who's #1, Gary.
Well, and you know what's happened with these guys is they realize that, and they realize the stakes in this game. And when you were talking about it, as you look at these 2 recruiting classes, they always tell us, let's wait 2-3 years and measure it. Well, we've waited 2-3 years to measure it. You know, those recruiting growers, they're pretty good.
They are.
Right.
Hey, folks, keep an eye on this big fella, number 37. I can hear all those fans down in Austin saying, get Henry Melton in there. And he's on the field. When I first saw him at practice in Austin, I thought he was a defensive lineman. And there he is. He scored a couple of touchdowns. He's number 37. He's 276 pounds. He's listed at 270. Weighed in at 276. How do we know? The offensive lineman who was right behind him, he told us that's how much he weighed. And here he is from behind 37. He's got a blocking back right in front of him. 3rd down and 1. Why not? Here he comes. Bucks were ready, and Melton was too. 1st down. 1st and goal. Everett up to hit him. They knew what was coming.
Well, he's Max Truck. M-A-C''S Truck, because he's Max Truck, and he is a running back by trade. He's not a defensive end made into a running back. You see his knee goes down right there. And then defensive end playing running back. He's a running back who's some projected as a defensive end, but the way he looks, I don't know. He is comfortable with the football.
A neat 9-play drive. They drove the ball with their first possession and kicked a field goal at the 10:03 mark to make it 3-0. Now we've got 1:45 to go in the opening quarter. Fakes the handoff, throws for a touchdown. Came right back to Billy Pittman, and Pittman has been his most active receiver here tonight. So the Horns in 2 possessions, they shock Columbus with 10 points. And if there's one way to quiet 100,000, it's get on that board early.
Inside receiver, you can see outside technique by the defensive back Dante Whitner, and a perfect throw. Take a look inside. The play action pass held Anthony Schlegel just 1 second to make an easy touchdown throw. You know, he reminds me of a young Randall Cunningham.
Yeah, I agree with that, Gary. Pino, and there's a little touch of Michael Vick though to his running downfield.
He's not as shifty, but he's just as fast. He's just as fast.
Troy Smith, is it about time to bring in Troy? Well, we shall see. Coach Tressel will make up his mind. He's down by 10. Richmond McGee on to kick it off for the Longhorns, who lead by 10. The always dangerous Ginn and Santonio Holmes are back deep as Mack Brown and Jim Tressel. Lock horns here. Mack is in his 8th year, Tressel in his 5th year. In games decided by 6 points or less, folks, Mack Brown has 14 wins and 6 losses, and Tressel has 10 wins and only 3 losses. Holmes runs up to the 2, has a blocking wall, motors past Ginn, looks for daylight, 40, 45, again great field position. And Michael Huff, the strong safety, may have saved the touchdown. That's a 48-yard
and
return.
add 15 late on the play. Texas is going to get 15 more yards. Late hit by Texas. They actually knocked Ted Ginn down after the whistle.
Dead ball, personal foul, kicking team, number 27.
Ted Ginn right here. Watch him all the way. Number 7. You're going to see Santonio go, and then Ted Ginn with his speed will catch up. He'll get a block just outside the frame, I guess, but he gets knocked down.
A buzz in the crowd. Troy Smith, the junior, after a 2-game suspension. So happy to be back on the field. 386 total yards against the Wolverines. 1st and 10. There's the draw out of the shotgun. All right, Sam. Urban Meyer in his second game. And are folks ever excited down Gainesville way? Man, second down now for Troy Smith. Pitch on the option play. First down. There is Pittman, and there's the difference that Troy Smith brings to the offense when he puts himself in motion. And they cross the 20-yard line. There is a penalty marker, I believe, however, so hang on.
It's going to be on Ohio State. No doubt a holding call coming out from on that option play. It took a little longer, and the wide receivers were downfield trying to stay with their blocks, and they held.
Holding. Offense.
Troy Smith in his first series since returning for Coach Tressel against a base 4-3. And here comes Smith. He crosses the 35-yard line to the 33. Michael Griffin along with Aaron Harris make the stop.
What it means to me to be a Texas Longhorn.
The ball in my hand and somebody's chasing me. You know, it's like when you're younger and the dog was chasing you. You're not gonna let the dog catch you.
There's a lot of horns over there that are trying to catch number 10 of the Buckeyes here tonight. This is Troy Smith's first drive of the game, and of course it has been the most impressive one so far. You'll see if he can get the Bucks on the scoreboard here. Gary, what's your feeling?
I've watched Troy practice twice this year, and he is a very good football player and a good thrower. And this team believes they can win with Troy Smith.
Changing things up. Antonio Pittman switches to the left side. Here he comes, and well, the dog got him by the tail that time there. Brought him down. Troy Smith and the Buckeyes trailing Texas by 10. Just underway here in the second quarter.
Now this would be almost automatic with Nugent last year. I mean, this was his range where he just kicked them. He had just ice water in his veins. Now, you know, Nugent's with the Jets, and let's see if this is a sure 3 points for Jim Tressel like it was in the past.
This will be a 45-yarder for Josh. Are on the board. Josh Houston's field goal. And it's 10-3 with Texas up by 7. Columbus, Ohio on a gorgeous Saturday night. First meeting ever between Ohio State and Texas. And after the field goal, the Buckeyes will kick it off. From the 5-yard line, Terrell Brown, the other number 5, looking for a hole to the 31-yard line. Well, Gary, you talk about it so much. Leadership, and what does Troy Smith bring to this team?
Well, Troy Smith beat Michigan. That's what you have to do when you're at Ohio State. And those players watch Troy in practice. He has that air about him. He thinks he's good. He thinks he's going to move the ball. Vince Young has already convinced his team. Troy Smith has also, but you know, he made a mistake, and he had to now work his way back in being the regular quarterback.
Now here is Vince Young, rushed for 56 yards. He's also thrown a touchdown pass. And the inside handoff goes to the Selvin Young, who's back on the field. And time now for a moment for our Aflac trivia question. You know, we've got 2 Texans starting defensively for Ohio State, but who was the last player from the state of Ohio to start for the Longhorn? Now, you just said never down there. That's not right. You're wrong.
It's happened.
It has happened.
Ohio State has switched, Brent, from going with their linebackers to now playing 3 down linemen, 3 linebackers, and 5 defensive backs. They've switched up against this formation defensively.
Well, they're going to put 4 down.
Well, it's
they
probably
put it back
Carpenter.
Carpenter is down, rushing from the right side, and they completed it against that, and Linus Swede makes his first grab, and Schlegel, the linebacker, back to make the stop, number 51, the transfer to the Air Force Academy.
They now have 5 defensive backs on the field, 3, 4, 5 of them, and Bobby Carpenter is down this play. A little bit of different look, but you can see he's off right there. Vince Young knows exactly where to go for the ball. Easy pitch and catch.
So here's another 1st and 10. You can see only 3 down. They crowd to front. They're going to come on it. And he handed off to Sauvignon. Yeah, it's closer, Sam, than folks expected down there. And remember, he had a man wide open for that 2-point conversion. Might have taken the Dogs on into overtime. So South Carolina. There's Carpenter trying to get to Young for the backside. Throws it incomplete. Man, Carpenter was closing hard, but Young, you know, the great quarterbacks, they feel the pressure. They just know as we check in with Jackaroo. Jack.
Well, Brent, we've all followed what's been going on in the Gulf Coast, the remnants of Hurricane Katrina, and both these universities have taken a lot of the evacuees and students from some of the schools that are closed. But for Greg Davis, the coordinator here at Texas, it is hit particularly close to home. His daughter Stacy and son Greg Jr. were affected. But Greg Jr. reports that he is going to stay with Tulane as they move now and will run out of Ruston, Louisiana the rest of the football season.
All right, Jack, and thankfully that family was okay. Young looking for a receiver is going to go down. He's got to be careful in that situation. He's lucky he didn't lose the football. Dante Whitner, a hard-hitting safety coming up on him, and Vince has got to learn in that situation. There are better days to fight than that one, and you can see Carpenter limping off the field for the Buckeyes.
Zone blitz this time coming from the field, but Vince Young has got that ball. He's tackled by Dante Whitner right there. Now watch him hold this ball. He's trying to get rid of it, get rid of it, get rid of it. He gets knocked down, and he just pops up and runs off the field. Does nothing, phases this guy, and everybody on Texas' bench saw him just pop up, say no big deal.
McGee punts it with Holmes and Ginn to field this one. Back by the 12, slips the first man. Gets to the, let me check that now. That was Ginn, just like I said.
He makes a move, but he couldn't get the afterburners on.
Game. First meeting ever. And Texas led it by 10 before the Buckeyes kicked a field goal to get on the scoreboard. Troy Smith with that pull out of the option. Shakes a would-be tackler and almost throws a bad pick. Drew Kelson was standing right there. And now it's time for the Pacific Life game summary game. So here we are, the Pacific Life game summary so far. And Vince Young moving the ball with his legs on their first 2 series. And off a fake, then threw for a touchdown pass. So his legs set up their opening field goal. His arm accounts for the touchdown. Troy Smith off the Buckeye bench. And he brought a spark to the Ohio State offense. 2nd down and 10. And Troy Smith was fortunate there. Pittman, 25-30. Out of bounds at the 35. Michael Griffin, Marcus's twin brother. So number 27 gets it done, but it's a 14-yard gain for number 25.
If you look at the Texas defense, they are undersized. That's the style that Gene Chizik likes at linebacker. At Auburn last year, Brent, his linebackers, and they won every game, were 210, 207, and 200 pounds. He's asked the Texas linebackers to get smaller, too. I think Ohio State has to run at them a little bit before they start throwing. They need to see if Texas can pick them up running the ball right at them.
4 down for the Horns on bottle the snap. Smith picks it up on the run. Incomplete, and it will be 2nd down and 10. And Jack, what's the situation with Carpenter? We saw him come over to get some treatment on that foot.
Yeah, it's the left ankle and the foot, Brent. And I was a bit surprised when they pulled the shoe off that he doesn't use ankle tape. He does now. The athletic trainer has added some tape. They're putting the shoe back on. He's been cleared to return to battle when OSU goes on defense.
3 outstanding linebackers, Jack, and there's one of them. You know, he said something that you know, the media had fun with it, and talk radio, I'm sure, for a couple of days. They said, we don't want Vince Young to leave the horseshoe a Heisman Trophy candidate. I'm sure that the defensive players say that about great players all around the country. Vince just kind of shrugged down in Texas and went on about his business. Off of what we've seen, folks, he's still a Heisman Trophy candidate. Now the inside handoff, just shy of the 40-yard line. Pittman. Yeah, Sam, that was an interesting instant replay. It took a while to get the angle that convinced him. It was a good call. Fumbled the snap right away on the center exchange. And complete across midfield. And that time they put it in Anthony Gonzalez's hands. Well, let's go back to the Aflac trivia question. Who was the last player for the state of Ohio to start for the Longhorns? And folks, he was a good one. Jam Jones, you remember him, the running back in the late 70s out of Youngstown, Ohio. Now, Jim Tressel was the coach here in Columbus during that era. He'd have said, I'd have never lost Jam Jones. I'd have never let him get out of Youngstown.
Remember early in the game when Anthony Gonzalez dropped the pass from Justin Zwick? Ohio State went back to the same play, and it worked that time for a first down. Gonzalez makes the catch.
Nick Mangold ready to snap the shotgun. Here's the quarterback draw all the way. Here's Smith, first down. And he hauls it out of bounds. First down and 10.
That Ohio State offensive line is starting to feel themselves on this field. They're starting to get some push up front with Troy at quarterback.
Pittman is jammed. That time the Horns were ready. Some of the big fellows. Robinson, number 39, he's 6'3", 267. Interesting that somebody that big could have been a track star. He has a 40-inch vertical leap. He blocked 4 kicks when he was high school, and one of the track team he was on, he threw the shot 62-4,
right.
Discus 183 feet. I mean, this is a heck of an athlete. Right
Came here as a linebacker, and he grew into a defensive end. Kind of a hybrid player to the outside.
There's so many great athletes on these two teams here tonight. Second down and 10. Here he comes again. Obviously, the Buckeyes have seen something that they can exploit. Bobineau, remember, there is no Derek Johnson, their great linebacker of a year ago. He will be suiting up tomorrow for Dick Vermeil and the Kansas City Chiefs. And Derek Johnson forced 9 fumbles last year when Greg Robinson was the defensive coordinator. Now, Harris is a terrific middleman, and he was there. You cannot replace a Derek Johnson. He was just one of the best outside linebackers we've seen during the last decade. And I'm sure Vermeil and the Chiefs are happy to have him. They'll tee it up against Herman Edwards and the New York Jets tomorrow as the NFL jumps into full swing. They show blitz, and they may have jumped, or the lineman may have stood up on him. Huff showed blitz when he stepped into that hole, and it may have caused a lineman to flinch. Let's see.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 77, offense. Remains third down.
And that's Rob Sims, the 310-pound senior guard. So at Valvoline, the halftime show will be coming up. John, Craig, and Aaron are here. They'll look at all the highlights from the game, including Notre Dame's upset of Michigan. There they are. Fellas getting ready over there. You bet. Yeah, good to see you, John. Craig, there's Big Aaron over there on the left. Now, he wasn't gloating about the Irish, but you know he's happy, folks. He's really happy. They're 2-0. Aaron, he's about the size of this running back Melton that we looked at for a time for the Horns, Gary. Now that I think about it.
Same weight. Third
down at 8. Here's Troy. Pocket holds firm, goes deep. Santonio! Touchdown! Touchdown! Santonio Holmes, the other wide receiver. 36 yards. And the Buckeyes are just an extra point away from tying up the game of September.
One-on-one, Texas has their best man-to-man guy, Cedric Griffin, on him, but watch this perfectly thrown ball. When you throw it like that, there's no coverage that can stop it, and Santonio catches it over his shoulder. Troy Smith throws a strike.
Here is Houston. Folks, as you watch this throw, let's just say one thing right now. End of any quarterback controversy right here. A strike, and we're deadlocked.
Welcome back to the Horseshoe, where late in the second quarter, Ohio State took the lead for the first time thanks to a pair of Josh Houston field goals. However, Texas answered right back when David Pino nailed a 37-yarder in the closing seconds of the half. So with the score now 16-13 Buckeyes, we rejoin our broadcast at the start of the third quarter here on ESPN Classic.
Well, here near the end of the halftime intermission, 16-13 Ohio State, and Gary Danielson, something a little out of whack that started very much in whack, if you will.
Yeah, it sure did. It looked like Vince Young was going to put on one of those days where he went for 190-plus yards like against Michigan. But the Ohio State linebackers, Brent, I think found their way, eventually judged that speed, and the game kind of changed when those guys started to triangulate instead of just try to make single tackles.
Yeah, I think the pressure that defense suddenly exerted was huge as we get ready. Remember what Mac Brown told Jack Arute as he was going off the field. What's important is we're going to have the football here to start the second half. So Houston with the ball on the tee, and Brown and Taylor are back deep, and Vince Young gets ready.
Plenty of time. Obviously, Vince has been here before. 3-point game, still anybody's ball game.
They'll take it deep. And they'll take a knee coming out in the 20. And look who we found, folks. One of the greatest Buckeyes of them all. Ohio State graduate Jack Nicklaus enjoying the game with his wife Barbara. Jack, your impressions of the first half, and no Ohio State bias now.
I think Vince Young got off to a great start, and Texas had Ohio State sitting back on their heels, and Ohio State figured him out a little bit and got a couple of breaks and back in the ball game, and now we've got a horse race here the second half.
Stick right with us here, Jack. We're going to watch the first down here and see how Vince Young and the Longhorns do to start the second half. That inside handoff to start it, and they squeeze out about 3 yards. Jack, when you told Gary you're going up to the Wolverine game, you're going to see Michigan up in it, and he asked you, when's the last time you were in Ann Arbor? Tell us that story.
Well, I was up there in 1956 when Hop Cassidy was playing, and Ohio State went up there, and when Manson Kramer were captains for Michigan, Ohio State won 17-0. I haven't been in the Michigan Stadium since, but I'm going this year.
Jack, it's always great to see you here. Enjoy the rest of the game.
Okay, Brent. Nice to
Have a good one, Jack.
Okay, Brent.
Jack Nicklaus, folks. Greatest golfer of all time. Deflected. Diving Sally's got it. Intercepted. 35-yard line. Buckeye football on the deflection. Nate Sally.
Bobby Carpenter makes the play. Number 42. Watch Bobby Carpenter get in front of the throw. Should pick it up. It goes through his hands, and Nate Sally gets the tip on the play. The linebackers for Ohio State are making the plays in this football game. He reads, he reacts, he doesn't catch it, but he makes the interception. Great job by Bobby Carpenter.
Best trio of linebackers in college football. That's not my opinion. That's the consensus of the scouts and the folks. And Vince Young is on the headset talking to Davis. And now Troy Smith puts his tight end in motion like an H-back. Hands off to Pittman. Pittman around the right side to the 31-yard line, and Michael Griffin up to make the stop. And now it's time for the Pacific Life game summary here, Gary.
I'll tell you what, you come from behind like they did, but look at this. Texas is averaging 6.1 yards per carry per play in this game, and they're losing at halftime. That's what turnovers will do to you.
Smith comes up underneath center. Second down and short. Reaches for the handoff. First down. Pittman. And we check in down below. Jack, what the coaches have to say.
Well, Brent, actually, Jim Tressel challenged his defense to do exactly what they did on that series. He brought up a couple of mistakes that they made. He said offensively he is going to stay with Troy Smith. When asked about the condition of Justin Zwick, he said, I may throw him in for a change of pace. An update on the Longhorns injury list. They're starting to running back Selvin Young out for the rest of the game. He's reactivated that ankle.
All right, Jack. And here on the first down play for the Buckeyes.
One-on-one down here on Santonio Holmes. One-on-one.
And Smith with that option pitch to Pittman. And he is upended by Terrell Brown, one of the young corners.
Really like the option play on this thing. You come down the line of scrimmage, and the most important thing on it is to pitch the ball forward. Get him outside, and he's outside with the pitch. Look at that distribution. Here's the pitch man. He pitches it out like that. That is perfect distribution on the play. Robinson shaken up is off the field. Brian Arakpo playing for the Longhorns. 2nd down and 8. 4 down linemen. And now a backer moves up tight. Almost intercepted again. And dropping back was Roderick Wright, the All-American. You know, his uncle, some of you folks remember, was Elmo Wright. Played with Houston and the Kansas City Chiefs. And Roderick someday will be another member of that family and play. Watch him drop back and just bat it down. I think that should be illegal. Defensive tackles dropping back, knocking down passes when you weigh 320 pounds. What is this game coming to? They can move, folks. They sure can. Those big old rascals down there. I'm surprised that Ohio State hasn't tried to get the ball to Ted Ginn. I mean, he can get the ball in his hands. He's dropped a couple, but they have not concentrated on it. Now Troy Smith drops it, and it will be 4th down, and another opportunity about to go awry. And that means John Houston will trot onto the field here to attempt another field goal. You know, there's one thing driving the ball all the way down to the 20-yard line if you're successful on offense and kicking a field goal. That kind of demoralizes the other team. But there's another thing being the beneficiary of a turnover and not be able to score touchdowns. That helps Texas. And right now, that's the 3rd straight time Ohio State has not been able to get the ball in the end zone. And let's see if they can get another field goal. The last 2 times they did. 44-yarder. He's perfect on the night. A lot of people speculated that Tressel would miss Nugent, and Nugent was one of the best we've seen. But so far tonight, John Houston has been right on the money, and it's 19-13. Vince Young is coming to bat again. One of the great traditions in college football. Dotting the I. Zach Roberts did it. And 100,000 plus in Columbus, Ohio exploded. And after being down by 10 points, the Buckeyes now lead it again by 6, 19-13. Josh Houston with the ball on the tee. I apologize if I said John back there. It is Josh who is perfect tonight. And he drills one. Oh, my. That's a big-time leg right Holy
now. Well, some would say down Austin way. My friends down there would say Vince has got him just where he wants him here. He sure does. In the last 7 wins by Texas, 6 of them have been come from behind. If they're going to get number 8, it's going to be 7 out of 8, obviously. But Texas has turned it over 3 times in their last 4 possessions. How big is that right now for Vince Young and the Horns? He's having trouble solving this trio of linebackers, and they have adjusted continually. You watch those backers come up, back out, base 4-3, taking it. Hawks got him again, short of the first down. And Jack, how about our guy Vince Young?
Well, you're talking about the way he likes to come from behind. All he has to do is look to his wrist, and he says he wears a white wristband that provides him for that inspiration. It simply says heart. He told me yesterday he put it on this summer and said the key is when you have things that aren't going your way, you've got to show heart. That's what he's got right now, and that's what he's going to have to exhibit, Brent.
Yeah, that's what he's shown all along, isn't it, Jack, as an athlete, and that's something that No scout can ever measure when they go out to look at these youngsters. Gives it to his young running back. Slips through for the first down. This young'un looks like he's got an upside, this number 25, Charles.
Yeah, that's the guy that said, Texas fans, I'm going to make you forget Adrian Peterson when I get over there at Texas, because that's the type of back I am. Well, I don't think they're going to forget Adrian Peterson, but they got a good one in him. But that's the guy that said, I'm that good.
Well, some of these fellas got a pretty good size ego, but if you're going to talk, you got to walk, right? First down and 10. Pulls out, and the Bucks weren't fooled, but he shakes Schlegel, completes it, and loose now to the 4-yard line. Billy Pittman, who has been his #1 target here tonight. And it'll be first and goal for Young and the Horns. 63 yards. And watch, the linebacker has a clean shot at him and doesn't bring him down.
They crossed the linebackers inside and miss Vince Young. What did we say? When you get a shot at Vince Young, you got to tackle him. Schlegel misses him, fardens him off, throws the ball. When you miss a sack like that, that's one that could have been a 10-yard loss. Turns around the other way, first and goal from the 5.
Opportunity for the Horns. Charles is right to Young's right. Movement by the right side of the line. You can see number 63, Blaylock, pulled up. Costly 5 yards when you get down there in that red zone.
Part of the snap, false start. Number 63, offense. It'll be a 5-yard penalty and remain first down.
Now the ball is brought just outside. Well, it's probably nudging the 10-yard line down there. So the Horns, Mac Brown, have got 10 yards now to make that touchdown, trailing it by 6. The crowd is unbelievable in here tonight. Rolling left, looking for a hole on a cutback. And the Buckeyes stayed in their lanes. That was superb defense that time by Ohio State. Pitcock, Schlegel, they filled it up, and you could see them as they moved in unison with the quarterback.
Absolutely.
Nobody jumped out of the lane. They protected against the cutback.
And the thing that Bobby Carpenter did is he went across that formation and never turned his shoulders. He just shuffled across. Watch Carpenter right there just come across, and he just keeps his shoulders square. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Guy gets his feet, turns it back in, and Schlegel makes the stop.
Yeah, Schlegel did a great job of unloading on him right there in the middle after missing him just a moment ago on that 63-yarder. Now second down and goal. Young again to the 4-yard line, and A.J. Hawk. You know, one of the things Vince is going to find out in a game like this, playing linebackers like this that are pounding away at you, that'll take its toll by the time you get to the fourth quarter.
Sure will. And you know what? It looks like the Ohio State linebackers right now are playing the quarterback and not the running back. They're expecting the fake every time.
So let's see if Texas read that and tries to slip Charles through on third down and goal.
It's got Taylor and Charles in there.
Well, at the 5, now they send Taylor out to the right. Young again, and the Bucks were ready. Carpenter from behind.
Ohio State linebackers have been monsters. They're big. They're not those small, fast guys, but they run fast enough. I think this was going to be a pitch for a reverse to Taylor, but Vince Young did not feel comfortable and never pitched the ball.
It would not shock me come next spring if Carpenter and Hawk don't go in the first round of the NFL draft. We'll see how they measure up.
Brent, you know, I counted 10 players, legitimate first-round draft picks in this game on the two teams.
25-yard field goal for Pino here. This could make it a 3-point game again on the money. So both field goal kickers have risen to the occasion here in a pressure-packed game. 35 points on the board. 7:36 left in quarter number 3. A field goal separates two great schools.
The fraud.
So Gonzalez back deep for the first time. And here comes the speedster. 15 looking daylight. Looking to get by him, and he was slowed up, and McGee, the kicker, pounces on him, but number 7 Michael Huff slowed him up. A 46-yard return. Gary, are you surprised that they said, here, Ted, show us what you can do?
I'm shocked. They had Gonzalez on the field, and they kicked it long to Ted Ginn. You know, if you're going to kick it long, you got to kick it on the left side of the field. You're just daring this guy to break one. And this, if Michael Huff doesn't make the tackle here, this is out the door for a touchdown. He actually run into his own guy, or it would have been a touchdown. I don't understand that.
And Justin Zwick returns. Number 12, giving the Buckeyes a change of pace here. Up by 3. Zwick comes in, hand off. Here comes Pittman. First down run before Michael Griffin again can bring him down. It's an 18-yard run.
Well, I said Ohio State had to win Woody ball, and that was Woody ball right there. 2 tight ends, take the snap, block him outside, and Pittman, he looks like a new guy. You know, and we asked the coaches about him, and the coaches said, in a word, from last year to this year, he's matured. You can see the type of talent he has because he exploded through that hole.
First down and 10. Pittman is stoned, and Jack, that was an impressive ceremony at halftime, my friend.
And one that needed to be done. As Woody Hayes joined the Heisman Trophy winners in the Ring of Honor here, with the big O that Woody used to wear, and his name now posted, and we're going to explain to you after this play the single man that single-handedly ended what was one of, I thought, the glaring errors in the history of Ohio State.
Yeah, Jack, I totally agree with you. And we'll come right back down to you now.
There's Ted Ginn right there. They need to bubble screen one of these two.
Zwick checked him out. Now he throws. Santonio, no, check down right now. Roy Hall makes that catch down the sideline, and Zwick and the Buckeyes are driving. Let's send it back to Jack.
Here it is. One more play here. Zwick feels the pressure, does a nice job. He's a thrower. You don't have to scramble. One-on-one, put it up. Ohio State's biggest receiver, Roy Hall, goes up and grabs that one. Nice patience by Justin Zwick.
Yeah, I'm glad we saw that replay, and Jack will continue the story here about Woody. We're deep in the red zone now. We're inside the 15-yard line. Zwick will try to finish what he started here.
Roy Hall's at tight end right there.
Here comes Pittman. Fumble! And recovered by Texas.
They're calling it down on the field, though, Brent.
The line judge said he's down.
Yes,
he had a good view of it.
And when they call it down, the whistle goes, and it is not a reviewable call.
If it was whistled down, if that was the key to it, and
yes,
we've got an injured Buckeye, we've got an injury timeout on the field.
Pittman slammed his knee, and that's what it looks like he's holding.
Take a look at this, Gary.
Comes outside, let's see. Got the ball in his left hand. Comes down just as he's hitting his butt. The referee, you watch him down, down, down with the linesman right there.
Yeah, I think the knee was down, and that's what he said. Okay,
Yep.
Let's go back down now, Jack. We've got an injury timeout, and you fill us in on this great story.
Well, I'm standing next to the new athletic director at Ohio State University, Gene Smith. And Gene, you single-handedly righted what I thought was a long time wrong. When you walked into the stadium, what was missing?
Well, I was just surprised when I took a tour and didn't see Woody Hayes' name in the stadium at all, and I just felt he needed to be recognized.
Well, thanks so much for writing that. I know we've got a big play coming up here. This is all the game that you thought it was going to be, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, this is special. I know television's happy, and I'm happy. We're ahead, and we're moving the ball into the end zone now.
Will we see more games like this in the future, or is this
definitely.
a one-of-a-kind?
Oh, definitely. This is all about what it's all about. This is what the kids want to play.
All right, let's watch.
All right, Jack, thank you. And Schnitker checks in as the running back. He throws the block. Zwick's got an open man and didn't get to the tight end that time. Had to throw it out of the back of the end zone. He didn't want to risk it. That was Ryan Hamby. And you can see down is Michael Griffin for the Longhorns there out of the back of the end zone.
That was a nice play by Justin Zwick that time. It was not open. He threw it to the back of the end zone. Either Hamby was going to get it or no one was going to get it. Can Texas hold on again? How many times has Ohio State been inside the 20 and only one touchdown in the game?
3rd down and 5. Schnitker out to the right. Zwick. Bobble, touch, no! Couldn't hang on. Hamby had a sure touchdown, juggled it, then it looked like he was going to get it, and Cedric Griffin delivered the wallop and saved the touchdown.
What a read and throw by Zwick. He gets his feet ready, puts it right on the numbers, misses it, juggles it, thinks he's going to get it, and then right there, coming from the wide side, Cedric Griffin puts the hit on him and saves the day. Oh, man. Was that quick feet by Justin Zwick on that one? That's why he was accurate.
Here's Josh Houston again, 26-yarder. Got it again. 22-16 as Houston nails another field goal. But the Buckeyes let a sure touchdown escape not once, but twice. What a hit. Timeout.
A recent edition of USA Today tells it all about Ohio State's linebackers. They were eager. They've been eager. Look at their hair, Brent. They made a pact amongst themselves. Neither of the three have been to a barber since last year. They said they're not going to cut it till they win a national championship.
You can bring along by then.
Oh, wow. Look at those stats. I'll tell you. Tremendous by the three linebackers. They've had help up front, but they've been the story.
Justin Zwick returns as the Buckeye quarterback. Pittman, the ball carrier. Now, Santonio Holmes has the Buckeye touchdown catch, and we asked him about being productive in this Ohio State system.
The coaches look for me to, be a leader, and that's pretty much my role. No matter who comes in and takes over the spotlight, let those guys handle that, and keep, doing what you've been doing, being productive for the team.
And he has indeed been productive. Santonio Holmes out of South Florida came up here to Columbus and has enjoyed it tremendously, and he too has a big-time football future. Zwick looks right, comes back to the left now. Gonna fire. Santonio's got it. On cue at midfield. 1st down. That's 17 yards. Zwick to Santonio Holmes.
Justin Zwick thought Teddy Kidd was going to run an out right here. Watch him as he gets his feet ready to throw an out route. It isn't there. He just goes long, so he has to switch to the other side. He goes all the way across the field. 3 guys coming in on him as he gets hit, and he finds Santonio Holmes. What a play by Justin Zwick.
A lot of quarterbacks don't look one way and throw the other. We saw some of that earlier today. Quarterbacks looking exactly where they were going to throw it every time. Now it's Pittman steps away. Got a chance here for a gain. Just short of the 1st down. Cedric Griffin, who has been all over the place for that Longhorn defense, starting his 32nd game up to make the 1st down saving tackle. And Pittman looks like he's just a little slow going back to that huddle. And we'll see if the coaches, they send Stan White Jr. in as the fullback. There's Pittman trying to shake it off now. He's right behind White. He couldn't get the 1st down. When the coaches see that, they'll wish they took him out and put another runner in.
Absolutely.
No question.
Absolutely. Texas was completely confused because Ohio State had unbalanced their line.
Now they're going to have to take him out.
Yep, he was limping badly, and that cost him an opportunity for a 1st down because there was a cutback there.
That's something that young football players have to learn. Many times in college we see youngsters stay out there. In the NFL, when those fellas feel that, man, they're getting off right now because a fresh body is always better out there. 3rd down and 1.
Schnitger's in there.
And it will be Zwick straight ahead behind Mangold for the 1st down. So the center, Nick Mangold, 6'4", 290-pound senior, leads the way. For the Buckeyes, Zwick still the quarterback. Ball just across the Longhorn 40-yard line. Ohio State leading at 22-16. Zwick in a foot race, wants to set it. Gets it into the tight end's hands, and this time Hamby hangs on with Aaron Ross defending.
You can see right there the difference in starting position in this game has allowed Ohio State. They have not been able to score touchdowns, but they've controlled the game with these turnovers and field position.
Our record crowd here in the Horseshoe, 105,565. Here's 2nd down and 6. Zwick spreads the field. Gonzalez came over to the right. Under pressure, again, grabs it, stepped out of bounds, very close to the 1st down marker. Ken looks back, he thought he had it, but
he did. Yes, he did. You're right.
Back now, and the officials are going to take a closer look at this ball.
Boy,
where he stepped out over there.
Justin Zwick throws a nice ball. This one is right on the hands. When in doubt in a tight ball game, you got to dive forward and stretch that ball out. Looks like he got it.
Close.
Looks like he got it. Yep.
Let's check in with Jack.
Well, Brent, Justin Zwick, many people thought when Troy Smith won that Michigan game, might have been relegated to the bench. His quarterback coach, Joe Daniels, thought he might transfer. In fact, Joe called him in the office and said, look, I'll help you to transfer if you think that's what you want. Justin told his coach, said, no, I'm really happy with what I'm doing. I got my friends here at Ohio State. I want to enjoy it. If it means sharing quarterback chores, so be it.
And he's doing just that here tonight. Jack with a 1st down. Zwick on the field. And they're banging Pittman behind the right side of that line. Labado and Michael Huff. 2nd down and 10 yards.
Got to be thinking, what is Jim Tressel thinking? One more field goal puts it more than an 8-point game. His kicker has been perfect. He's controlling it. He loves to play the kicking game.
Gotta hurry. Deflected, but right to Pittman.
Gee, oh my, oh my.
A completed pass, and Robinson, the big fella, just knocked it right to the running back.
40-inch vertical jump. This guy's been using it to do. Number 39 right there. And man on the line of scrimmage. Nobody blocks him. Pittman is supposed to block him. He goes up, he reads it. He had the tight end wide open to Justin Zwick. And Pittman, you have on a short pass play, if you're a running back, you have to attack the end man on the line of scrimmage just for that reason, and Pittman didn't do it.
If they're playing field position for the field goal, they'll throw in underneath and get as much as they can and send Houston out. They won't worry about the 14. Zwick deflected, incomplete. Here comes Houston, and this will be a long one.
Yeah, losing yardage on that play. That was a huge play by Brian Robinson that time, knocking down that play, because that took him out of field goal range. Almost.
A 50-yard attempt for Josh Houston. He's been perfect so far tonight. A 50-yarder on its way. No good. So it stays at 22-16. Now it's Vince Young's turn. Can he lead still another comeback in the teeth of this record crowd in Columbus, Ohio?
A man.
Well, Josh Houston just missed a record 6 field goal for the Buckeyes. Mike Nugent hit 5 at North Carolina State. Bob Atha back in the 80s had 5. And now Vince Young coming out from the 33-yard line, fakes the inside handoff, fires, diving, incomplete, but there is a penalty flag thrown. There is a penalty flag. Tyler Everett with coverage on the play.
You're allowed in college to jam a guy downfield, but not while the ball is in the air. Everett got a piece, and that ball was being thrown at the same time. That's the way I looked at it up here, at least.
Pass interference, defense. It'll be a 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Let's see how much of a piece we got of him on this one. Tyler Everett coming down, ball's in the air on the stutter right now, and he grabbed him. That's penalty. That stutter play, perfect call on first down that time by Greg Davis. That was a nice call.
Young and the Horns are near midfield. Crosses midfield. Out of bounds. Schlegel, the linebacker, forcing him out on that far side. 22-16, 4:47, second down and 6. They're coming. And Young had one-on-one throws incomplete. Taylor broke it off at about the 25-yard line, but there was heavy pressure on the Texas quarterback.
That time from the short side of the field, Ohio State brought the blitz. They've started playing man-to-man coverage, and Taylor, a converted running back, did not read that play, and Vince Young just had to throw it away.
Here's third down and 6. Clock inside 5 minutes. Timeout has been called.
Weeknights on LHN. Get a full.
This is a tribute to the Ohio State linebackers. In that first drive, Vince Young ate up 52 yards. Since then, 14 rushes for only 17 yards. And they have repeatedly put on pressure. The defensive tackles have been twisting. The linebackers have been jumping in and out and moving around from position to position. Young has not been able to determine where they're always going to be. First down as he hits the freshman coming out of the backfield. And Charles, stumbling his way, has got it for the Longhorns. And Vince Young, the comeback kid, could be mounting another one here.
Yeah, so Vince has been forced out of his running game, but he's answered in the passing game. He has almost 240 yards throwing the ball against this Buckeye defense, and you may stop him in the run, but he's answered tonight that he can throw the ball when necessary.
The slot is off to Vince's right. The Buckeyes were coming, and Young trying to get outside. And a brilliant play by Whitner. Whitner was coming up and showed blitz, had a blocker on him, was able to get around and take Young down, who is slow getting up right now. Remember what we said at the top of this broadcast. The number of hits. Take a look at that jersey. Look at the punishment that he has received here tonight.
I wonder if he fell on the ball here or what. Whitner gets him low, and who gets him high? Is it Carpenter gets him high? Watch Whitner take him low. Carpenter cleans it up, forces him down, and gets him right on the back that time. I don't know if it's back or what, or left shoulder, but he got Bobby Carpenter, never gave up on the play and got that extra hit. That's exactly the punishment.
So Matt Nordgren's going to have to come in the game. The training staff is on the field, I believe, unless we had a timeout called. Yes, we have had a timeout called by Texas because of just that. So
And with the timeout, he can enter back into the play.
Absolutely.
And I think to keep him on the field, that's an excellent timeout.
Do you think? Just in case, Nordgren is out of Dallas, Texas. He's thrown just a few passes. He's also the holder for the kicker. Out of the helmet with Carpenter.
What's tough
Part
for
of the trio of fabulous Ohio State linebackers.
What's going to make it tough for Ohio State is it's really 4-down territory right now. Unless it's third or fourth and very long and they take a field goal, if it's fourth and possible, they're going to go for it.
Only one timeout remaining for Young and the Horns. They trail it by 6. Second down and 9. Three-down lineman, they rush 5 out of it. He's got it. Can he get the first down? Let's see where they spotted. He was stepping out of bounds. He was close to it. Charles again. Lacey from the backfield.
Really surprised Ohio State is having trouble with this play. It's the same play they completed last time. Texas is keeping their tight end and fullback in. They're only sending 3 people out, and Ohio State has failed to cover the running back on both plays.
Third down and 1. Charles stays in as the running back. Young always dangerous in 3rd and 1. Young driving forward. He might not have gotten it. There is a penalty flag. The line judge threw a flag. And the way Texas is applauding, that's going to go against the Buckeyes, and that'll give them a first down.
A.J. Hawk on the tackle for Ohio State.
You can see Mike Kudlow, number 57, is lined up off sides at the snap, and that was a pretty easy one.
3:44 and 1 timeout remaining. The Horns need a touchdown on an extra point. 316 of Texas' 340 yards. Twist for the rush. The freshman is thrown back. Carpenter was in on top of it, and David Patterson.
Schlegel was in there diving in on that play, taking on a blocker. All 3 of the linebackers. Patterson was in on it also. This Ohio State front 4 and the substitutes they've been bringing in have been playing some great football.
Late defensive substitution. Buckeyes send an extra defensive back, the nickel man, Mitchell, number 32, who has been playing nickel all night. They'll rush 3. Carpenter moves up into a gap. Now you back out. Second down and 9. Got a lot of time. Throws in zone. Cut! Touchdown, Texas! What a great play for the Horns. As Vince Young comes up with a 24-yard scoring pass to Limas Swede, the X-Man.
Nate Sally could not quite get there. It was right on the end line. The ball was perfectly thrown to the tallest receiver Texas has.
Now an extra point, and it doesn't get much bigger than this one. Pino right here.
And I think you're going to get a replay on this one.
We watched replay several times in the Michigan-Notre Dame game. You all know that they use it in the Big Ten. It's not a coach's challenge. Gary, let's take a look.
Nate Sally is the guy who doesn't quite get there. Watch this perfect throw. He just flicks it. Swede catches it.
1 foot down. Take another view.
He was definitely in. Did he bobble the ball? That's what they'll look for next.
No question he was in the end zone.
Yes. Catches it, bobbles it, comes down, and he's got it. At least in my opinion. Nice play by Swede. 1, 2, catches it, elbow comes down. I think it's pretty clear, but I think it's good that they checked it.
No question they should check this. This is such a huge play. It was exactly what they should do. And they don't have a referee with a hood on over the sideline. Decision will be made upstairs. The official right there
Look
had
at that
a view
official.
of it.
Look at that ball thing right there. Kept his eyes completely on the football and made the call.
And they will tell him on the field here as to what the decision. And again, it is the observer upstairs. We have Big Ten replay officials, even though we have Big 12 officials on the field. And for a few moments here tonight, and Trussell was told, along with Mac Brown, they couldn't find the pagers for the officials.
The play is confirmed as called.
Touchdown, Texas, now an extra point away from the lead.
The only interesting thing is, because of the review, in essence, it iced the kicker just a little bit. You're going to use a timeout. It's just an extra point.
If it was a 50-yard field goal, I might buy into that.
Maybe I'm flashing back to last week again.
That's true. Well, McGee missed the first 3.
They had 3 misses.
So here comes Pino. He took over the kicking here tonight. Matt Nordgren, the quarterback, will put it down.
2 blocks last week.
Schrader is the center. Got it. Texas leads it. 45 points scored here tonight. And Vince Young comes up with another big play. Sweet makes a great catch, and Sally can't jar it loose. What a football game this has turned out to be. 2:37 to go, and I suppose if there's anything you might want to second guess, it's the fact that Jim Trussell went for a 50-yard field goal instead of perhaps a pooch punt to make it a little bit tougher for the Texas offense. Nevertheless, Jim Trussell now has a tougher choice to make. You fans out there, which quarterback would you put in right now to run the 2-minute drill here? Who would go out for the Ohio State Buckeyes? Gary, you get the first vote.
You know I like Justin Zwick, but I would go with Troy Smith in this instance, so I have one more weapon to scramble.
They'll kick it low on the ground. Santonio on a big hop. To the 30, ball's loose. Ross has it. Ross has it. Unless it was whistled down. No signal.
This one was not whistled down.
Texas football. Now the replay official again will look at this upstairs. Did his knee hit the ground before the ball came free?
I thought his back hit the ground, but I don't know if the ball came free. See, I thought his back hit the ground and then the ball came free. Gets hit, turns, gets hits again, has the football, goes down, and the ball pops out.
If he was down, do you think he was down, Gary?
Yes, I do. I think he was down. Let's see how good we are.
So again, the observer upstairs will run those replays back and forth, take another look at it. This is the first year that the Big 12 will also employ instant replay in their games. I think he might have asked for the spot right now.
Yeah, Troy Smith and Justin Zwick have their helmets on the sideline.
After review, the player was down. It will be Ohio State's ball. 1st and 10 from the...
And I think that in both instances, correct decisions were made. And that's what you ask of instant replay. Zwick. So it will be junior Justin Zwick from Massillon with 2:30 up on the scoreboard. Trussell figures That the bowl game, the first game, going through all those practices, that he might be able to handle the 2-minute drill here a little bit better. However, on 3rd and 1 or in the red zone, they might switch quickly back to Troy Smith, who's a little bit better runner. Now the Horns, they've identified who the quarterback is. Zwick in the shotgun. Takes off. Fumble, no question. Ball loose. Texas. Robson's got it to the 20-yard line. Drew Kelson knocked the ball free. There is a penalty flag. There probably is a celebration on that far side. That would be my guess. Brian Robinson and now wait a minute. Mack is livid about something.
Justin Zwick, no one open on this play, starts to scramble.
That's their first sideline warning of the game. 1st and 10, Texas.
Much ado about nothing. Yeah, exactly. Much ado about nothing.
It was a sideline. They came out on the field.
Right.
And, you know, and why not? This is just a huge, huge development in this football game. Zwick gets it. Now watch him knock the ball out. Look at that. Kelson, who's been playing the linebacker on the strong side, is a natural safety. He's one of those lighter linebackers that Mack wanted to employ. That is the Buckeyes' first turnover this game. Gary, it came at a horrendous time.
I know that I'm in the minority, but I like quarterbacks to hold the ball in their passing hand, because they never have it. They're not used to holding it in their left hand. I know a lot of people think they should switch. I don't.
Now Young and Charles go to work on the clock. The freshman picks up almost a dozen yards on that run. And the Horns are banging in again, up by 1 with 2:11 to go.
Brent, a touchdown by Texas would still give Ohio State a chance to tie the football game. If they do it, they have to have time on the clock to do it.
Tressel checking that clock.
They can't let Texas just take a knee and win the game.
Charles. Carpenter up on the stop. So the Bucs will use a timeout here. Big smiles over there on the Texas sideline. The coaches relaxed. They think they've got this one well under control right now.
I got the feeling, though, that the coaches' smiles were forced, and Vince Young is a lot cooler than they are right now. He seems as relaxed as you can be. Great play by Robinson in this game, and Drew Kelson coming across and ripping that ball. What a play.
So with Gary Danielson and Jack Arute, I'm Brent Musburger. As good, if not better than advertised. Number 2 Texas and number 4 Ohio State. All night long, Texas once went out by 10 points. The Buckeyes battled back, took the lead, went out by 6. Horns hung in, kept digging in, and finally Vince Young fired a touchdown pass, and they're up by 1, 23-22. Now, after Ohio State's first turnover of the game, Young and the Horns are trying to close the deal in the first ever meeting between Ohio State and Texas. The rematch next year in Austin. I can hear folks scrambling for tickets already. If that one's nearly as good as this one, you're in for a great, great football game. Both of these teams deserve a lot of credit, no matter who wins this game here tonight. Vince Young crashes across the 5-yard line. A.J. Hawk in on top of him.
Ohio State takes their last time out. Tressel's on the field.
These folks who traveled up Texas way, they've been treated to a great evening of football, and so too have the Ohio State fans. Man, that party's about to begin, isn't it?
Which way will they run the quarterback draw on this one? It isn't going to leave his hands.
He's going to take it around the left side, short of the end zone.
Nice job. Early in their game, he might have dove out and tried to stretch that ball across, but in that instance, he covered up, got hit, got nailed, but he did not fumble the football. Ohio State can't stop it.
No matter what happens here in the next minute, Vince Young leaves a Heisman Trophy candidate.
Yeah, you bet he does.
There is no doubt about that, folks.
You would expect Vince to take one of those dives, but ball possession right now, when he looked up and saw Bobby Carpenter sitting right there, he said, I better make sure I don't fumble this one.
Hawk and Carpenter. As a fan, these are the kind of games we want. We don't give a gosh dang about January right now. We want some action.
Interesting strategy here. Will they go for it? I think they may just go for the touchdown, because you don't want to give the ball back to Ohio State. There's the kick. That's how close this thing was for Ohio State icing it. What was that, a foot?
No more.
They're going to go for it. Good call by Mac Brown. They got the big guy in, too.
That's Henry Melton. Here comes Mac's truck. Option to him. He'll walk it in. Dive! Did he cross the plane? No signal down there. Melton wants it. They're conferring. Did he get the ball across the plane of the end zone?
I'll tell you, Melton slowed down there, trying to kind of hot dog the dive.
They say he didn't.
This will be a review, but I watch him slow down when he gets this ball. I'm surprised they pitch it to a freshman. He comes up. Now watch him kind of ease into it, gets ready to dive. Oh, he get that ball across. That ball is across that line. Is he outside the pylon?
That's the question. I don't know that it's conclusive here.
Lower your head. You're 275 pounds. Your Bodie hits him. He didn't even stretch the ball. That could be short.
I think he was outside the pylon.
That could be short. Holy cow, that's disappointing.
I think he's outside the pylon, and Troy Smith, it looks like, is going to trot out here for the last 25 seconds.
If that 276-pound guy can't run over Yabodi on that play.
If he can find his high school teammate from Cleveland's Glenville High School, can they get Teddy Ginn loose? Smith. There's the safety. There's the safety with 19 seconds to go. Aaron Harris takes Troy Smith down in the end zone.
Now we'll see an onside kick from Ohio State. You can see it right in the middle right there. Comes in, he's spying on Troy Smith. Good job. He sees it, he sees Troy Smith's not going to scramble, so he accelerates as the spy guy and gets the safety. You're in the end zone, nobody really to throw to. You gotta let it go there. You just gotta throw it up and hope for something. Troy tries to go up and too quick. Aaron Harris just too quick for him, number 2.
25-22, 3-point Texas lead. The one thing Mac and the Horns don't want to do, of course, is put it in the hands of a dangerous return man, but 19 seconds remaining.
Well, they'll
try to kick it down low on the ground. They've used that.
They'll receive the ball here after the safety.
That's right. What am I thinking of? Safety, of course.
Ohio State will try the onside kick and try to get the ball back.
Got to first get the ball, then we find get.
A lot of stuff has happened in this football game.
He's got it set on that tee to do just that. High hop, down goes the Horns at the 32-yard line there. So now without any timeouts, Vince Young and just simply run out the clock, and Texas will go back home. with a hard-fought, well-deserved victory against a very game Ohio State team that now will regroup. Now let me take you through the we've had 7 years BCS bowls, I believe. That means we've had 14 teams play for the championship. 5 of them have reached the title game with 1 loss. Ohio State's not completely out of it, but their chances are less than 50%. Meanwhile, the Horns are soaring. And the big question now remains, can they get past Oklahoma and run the table this year and go back to the Rose Bowl? What a great football game. Mack Brown is telling Jim Tressel just that.
Gave Vince Young one too many chances.